Good afternoon, Hope families. I just wanted to give you a few updates as things are continually changing here at Hope Elementary and Flat Rock Hall Creek. I first wanted to talk to you about the changes with COVID-19. The health department is changing policies regularly and we are trying to stay on top of those. A couple of changes that will go into effect immediately. The CDC has taken off runny nose, congestion, and body aches. So if a student has those symptoms in isolation, they will no longer be asked to stay home for the 10 days. We still have the symptoms of, and we'll send you the chart, but we still have the current symptoms of fever, 100 or higher, sore throat, cough or shortness of breath, diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, headache, and loss of taste or smell. So again, the runny nose, congestion, and body aches have fallen off of the criteria. Also, another new update. Previous to now, we have not allowed you to return prior to the 10 days with a negative test. You've still had to keep your child home for the 10 days because of all of the false negatives. The CDC has changed that. If you have proof of a negative test after symptoms, your child is allowed to return to school. Please call and make sure that you run that by the nurse and that she has received the proof before sending your child in. This does not apply to a close contact. So if your child is a close contact and they've been asked to quarantine for 14 days, even with a negative test, they are not allowed to return to school. So this is only if it's a symptoms student. Also, we are still taking temperatures on the bus. I know there have been a couple of situations where there has not been an aide on the bus taking the temperatures. Please know that we are testing them as soon as they get to school. So we're testing them at the central office area here at the bus drop-off. We have someone taking temperatures as soon as they get off the bus. So just, even if you don't see a bus aide, we are being diligent in checking temps. We think that's very important. Another update, if students are out for 10 days with symptoms, they can still be counted as present if they check in with their teacher on either Seesaw or Canvas, depending on what your child's teacher uses, and they are completing work. So we're allowing them to basically switch over to that virtual learning if they're out with symptoms and they're still able to do their work. Obviously, if they're not able to complete their work, we understand. Another thing I wanted to update you on is we have about 5 classrooms that cannot maintain that 6 feet social distancing within the classrooms. So what we do is basically we have pods of students, smaller pods that are within 3 feet. The governor says if you're within 3 feet, you can still remove your mask if you're sitting and facing the front within 3 feet. So if a student is identified to be COVID positive in one of those classrooms, the students sitting on either side of them or in front or behind them within the 6 feet, so closer than 6 feet, even if they're 3 feet, they will be asked to quarantine. That is affecting a minimal number of students. I'm proud to say that with our 1 positive that we had at the high school, we only had to quarantine 4 students for being close contact at the high school. Obviously, the sports are a different situation and more would have had to be quarantined, but in the school environment, only 4. So we are trying to keep them as socially distant as possible, but I want to be transparent and let you know we do have a few classrooms that are only maintaining the 3 feet and not the 6 feet because of space. I believe that is it for COVID-19 updates. I wanted to update you on a few other things. Elementary sports will be suspended at this time. We will not proceed with elementary basketball and cheerleading for the winter. We may revisit that, but at this point we feel that it's more important. Academics is the most important thing right now. We don't want to put students in a situation where an entire team has to be quarantined. So we would like to focus on their academic needs, and we have to decide risk versus benefit, and we feel that academics are the most important thing at this point. So we will not be having our elementary sports. Book rental. Several people have asked about book rental. With the transition to the new system, Skyward, there was not a place to pay book rental initially. That is now up, so there is a tile for book rental. If you had carryover fees from last year, or you had credit on your account, that may not show up yet, but if you did not, you can go on and pay your book rental fees through Skyward. You can also go on to Skyward and apply for free and reduced. If you were on free and reduced last year, but you have not applied this year, you will need to go into Skyward and click on the food management system and reapply for free and reduced. There's a 30-day carryover, so you would still be receiving free and reduced at this point, but starting September 15th, if you haven't reapplied for the 2021 school year, you will no longer receive that benefit. So make sure that you go on and reapply if you are not a direct cert or you haven't already applied. Just want to update you on another item, the dyslexia screener. So the state of Indiana now requires all students in kindergarten through second grade to be screened for dyslexia. So if you receive a letter from the school saying that your child is being screened for dyslexia, that is standard for all students. Please do not be alarmed. If they do not pass the screener, we then do a level 2 screener. And at that point, we will contact you, letting you know we are doing that. So I just wanted to make you aware that if you receive information on a dyslexia screener, that is a state mandated change. Midterms will go home this Friday. At this point, we are still going to print those and send them home with every student. You should be able to access your child's grades at any point on Skyward, but we are going to still print those and send them home for midterms and report cards because we understand that some may not have the access to check those. Lastly, I'm just speaking to my virtual students and parents at this point. Make sure that you are checking in daily with your virtual teacher because this is how they check for attendance. If you are not checking in daily, you cannot be counted as present. Also, make sure if you would like to take advantage of lunch, that the place where that is being served will change to door 4 in front of central office. Don't forget to sign up on the Google Sheet if you plan to pick up a lunch. If you sign up for a lunch, you will be charged for a lunch if you are a virtual student, whether you pick it up or not, because we do have to go ahead and prepare that lunch. Lastly, if you're a virtual student and you are unable to complete work, please call your child in sick as you would if they were in person learning. That just allows our attendance to be accurate and up to date. If you have any questions about any of these updates or any of this information, please feel free to call the office. If it's directly related to COVID-19, you can call our school nurse, Mrs. Ortman, or you can email me or call me at any time. Thank you so much for your cooperation and understanding. It has allowed us to open up and have a safe start to our school year, and we really appreciate all your help. Thank you.